Geek Dad Life presents Screen Geeks, a live TV and film talk show. Tonight we're gonna talk about the craziest double feature in recent memory, both the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The best day ever.
It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now till forever. You guys ever think about dying?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special Barbenheimer live stream. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, on this journey of screen geekery is my good friend Ralph. Ralph, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
And Colleen, and for the first time ever on this stream, wait, hold on, I want to remove you real quick. This would be actually cooler. Okay, for the first time ever on a GDL stream is my wife Colleen, who has her own podcast called The Broadcast. She's been doing it for 8 years or something, 7, 8 years. She's also as a kid, she was a big Barbie collector. And then she was the one who actually spent the whole day with me with the Oppenheimer Barbie double feature. It was 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time yesterday. Let's give a warm first-time welcome to Colleen. Hello.
Hello. How come you couldn't take me out of the stream when I dropped my USB and was trying to pick it up while the thing was going?
It's not that kind of production value on this show. But anyway, I'm gonna make this like this.
Don't.
No, you don't like that?
I hate it.
Oh, okay.
Like,
This is fine.
It drives me nuts because I don't have a lot of room here. So like when it gets to this, all you're seeing is my face. It looks like.
But you have a nice face.
Who's the dude in the Ant-Man Quantumania?
Oh,
Modoc. Yeah.
Oh my god. But anyway, super excited to be talking about both of these movies. I was blown away, no pun intended, by both of these movies yesterday. Before we get that, definitely want to say the chat is a hop-in chat. We've got Brian Carr, Toy Geekosaurus, Charlie Weaver is in the house, Take Two is here, Judy is here as well, Nick Dillinger, big winner from the patron giveaway yesterday. We got Riley Bob here, Tony Taponi in the house, Dora Laxian is here, Allison Troy, who was on Geek the F Out yesterday with Lucha Johnny and Kayla Silva. Definitely check that one out if you haven't checked that out yet. Riley Bob with Pee Wee. Yeah, it's sad day. Pee Wee Herman passed away. We'll talk about that in a second. We've got let's see, anybody else. Doomsday is here. We've got Stephen Lawrence. We got Jamie Vaughn. We got BTG in the house. I just tune into a Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego podcast. Well, these were at Target for $5. So yeah, I was like,
I originally wanted to wear my Comic-Con 2012 fringe hat because, it's been sitting in my closet for 11 years.
Well, that's what you wore to the theater for Oppenheimer.
It is. I was the only one that I saw dressed for Oppenheimer.
But
it was 9 o'clock in the morning.
My head is so large, though, it doesn't really actually fit this hat. It just kind of sits on the top of my head. But anyway, Ralph, I know, Colleen and I have already talked a little bit about the film, obviously. But what was your viewing order? How did it go down for you for both the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer?
I saw Barbie
first.
Last Monday, because it came out. The two movies came out while we were at Comic-Con, and B, while I was also shooting the movie Getting Lost, so I missed it. But as soon as I got back, we went and saw Barbie on the Monday, and then I saw Oppenheimer on Saturday.
Okay.
Yesterday I saw Haunted Mansion and it effing sucked.
Oh no! Don't tell me that. I want to see it.
Wait, that bad?
It's pretty bad. It's pretty.
I was thinking maybe it just needed to like be released during like Halloween or something. It was just like the
my theory,
Barbenheimer of it all was
is
too.
this.
The Muppets one's pretty awful too.
Oh, I don't like the
The Muppets one was fine, I guess, but
I know
whatever.
people
Sorry.
but I'm just gonna say I think the reason why it didn't come out during Halloween is because they wanted to come out on Disney Plus during Halloween.
That's a bummer.
Not a great movie. Not a great movie to see after you see two extraordinary movies that are great that I really enjoy.
It's true. I had no desire.
Really
like
tough. You saw 3 movies in a week, and the third one just paled in comparison. It was kind of nuts.
Haunted Mansion felt like a TV movie. That's on it. Kind of, the trailer and stuff made it feel a bit like a TV movie. It just didn't. It looks so CGI, like super CGI, like kind of.
That's not even the bad part. It's just like I can't describe it, guys. Just you'll have to watch it. It'll be on Disney Plus sooner than later. It just I guess it felt like a TV movie. It felt like it was aimless. It felt like the third season of Mandalorian. It felt like Secret Invasion. It's like what was the game plan?
Yeah.
You maybe have a little more focus on what you're doing. And I feel like it felt like none of the stars in it were ever in the same room. It felt like it was weird.
Yeah.
There was like no chemistry. There was one scene that was really funny, and that's it.
Let's move to the good things that you saw. And real quick, I want to post in Jacob Walsh from YHS. First of all, happy birthday, Jacob.
Happy birthday.
But YHS crew saw Barbie at Comic-Con because we couldn't get into the screening of Talk to Me. BTG, okay, we get it, Ralph. You don't like a lot of stuff.
It's true. Here's the thing. Like that's like kind of the running gag. I feel like I've it's one of those things where
you turn into an old curmudgeon.
A little bit, and I've decided to not. I think I've mentioned this before, but not really get wrapped up in the discourse, and just kind of like let things happen.
Okay.
And with the 2 movies we're talking about today, there's too much buzz that I couldn't avoid it, and it got to the point where it's like, all right, I'll try not to be like Mr. Bandwagon, read all the reviews and that kind of thing, but I couldn't avoid it. And
we avoided it.
Yeah, we didn't read reviews. We just went in blind.
Yeah, even knowing what both movies were like about, they were still new to me. Like honestly, I knew that Barbie was about the patriarchy, and I still wasn't. I was still completely surprised when we saw the movie. It was like a brand new plot to me.
Yeah.
Also, Jay, BTG called you Casual Indiana, and I believe I said that to you. I called you City Connect Indiana.
City Connect Indiana. I missed that from BTG.
You're Lightwing Duck.
Lightwing Duck.
Well, I thought, I was like, this kind of matches the hat I wore to Barbie, because I wore a pink shirt, and then I had, we're gonna start with Oppenheimer and then go to Barbie. But I have my.
Yeah, I'm like a dude that has a lot of pink.
Yeah, you are. I mean, Casino Skunk, you are known for your pink stuff.
Yeah,
and you're wearing none of it right now.
No, I'm not wearing it. I have my pink belt on.
Are you gonna like Superman and like pull your sweatshirt off with like pink underneath? No.
I didn't wear pink to Barbie. I felt out of place doing that.
There were dudes in pink there.
Yeah, it was.
But I felt like it wasn't my movie to sort of be. I don't know. I feel really weird about like conforming and doing things because other people are doing them. I did have my pink. I did have my pink chucks on. I had my pink chucks on.
Well, you had your pink chucks on.
Okay.
I mean,
but I didn't. This is what I want to know, Ralph. This is what I want to know. Okay, so you did dress up.
Yes, I was. Fine. I was one of 3 guys in the theater.
Okay.
The other being my brother-in-law, who's a retired police officer. And and I I told Stevie I after the movie was over, I said, I think my cycle just synced up with everybody else in this theater.
Why? Because were you crying?
It happens.
I was crying.
No. It's a period joke. No,
I get it. But like, where's it going?
But no, it was. I felt like
I got when
I walked in. When I walked in, I've never been in a situation where I walked in the theater where there was like one gender vastly outnumbered the other gender.
Well, then you never saw Magic Mike, my friend.
I didn't see Magic Mike. And I would see Magic Mike because I like Steven Soderbergh.
Jay was the only
I was the only, because Colleen and I went, and I was the only male in that theater, which I love Magic Mike. It's a fun movie. But that was the only time I was like, I am definitely the only male in this audience.
First one. The second one's just kind of meh. But the first one.
The first one, it was packed. And I was the one
Steven
dude.
Soderbergh's great.
Well, yeah.
But it was one of those things where I didn't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was just a unique experience. Like I've never been in a theater with that many just men.
Sure.
Like it was such, and I felt like this is I see, we see like Marvel movies, and I'm sure there's more men than women in certain movies I see, but it's never like a theater full of men and 3 women. That's never been the case.
I think you've never gone to a lot of like more female.
For me, I felt like this was a moment that wasn't for me. And I felt like I felt weird wearing the pink. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the people that didn't feel weird wearing pink in Raleigh, because it was amazing, Colleen. After we saw Barbie, like when you're in the theater, it's dark, so you can't really. But we definitely saw like some people wearing some of the different Barbie outfits from the movie. But then like when we got out, the theater let out. Everybody was wearing pink, like kids, adults, men, women. Like it was really cool. But then there was other people coming to see Barbie as well, and just the whole theater.
They were in line to buy tickets
throughout.
too. And
it was so cool.
Love it. It was awesome.
I loved it. So the best thing about yesterday seeing Haunted Mansion was that we saw it's not a good movie. But when we got out of the theater, I saw a lady, she had to have been like 90 years old with a walker wearing pink. And
I love it.
I'm like, that lady gets to go see a good movie for the first time. Like that's the thing, is I could tell that she hadn't seen it yet. And this lady is going to have a great afternoon. And there was people in line and getting tickets wearing pink. And I'm like, those people get to go have a blast. And see that movie for the first time. And that's what's exciting is by wearing the pink, you're telling everybody else at the theater what you're going to go see.
Yeah, it's like a shared experience. I think that's what makes it fun.
And it's like, oh, these are new people that are going to join the club, because I guess the movie made something like $90 million its second weekend, which is
the second weekend, which is nuts.
So it actually is now the fastest growing the fastest like female driven movie in just 9 days, beating the Beast, which had the record previously in 10 days.
Yeah. Which I think it's already at over $750 million, which is globally, which is insane.
Somewhere the makers of The Flash are crying. Big tears.
I hear The Flash is doing all right in digital. Stevie Apple, all of our favorite Apple, say they can vouch for the fact that Ralph is very stubborn, non-conforming. He absolutely will not do something if he's expected to, like wearing pink. I think that's why you and Jack get along so well from the last podcast.
But it's I don't know. It's kind of it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
This is where I would say, this is my counter to that. Like I get it. I get the not want to do a thing just because everybody else is doing. I totally get that feeling, right? Yeah. But in this situation, I think this is where it's fun to be a part of something, a part of a larger thing than yourself. Yeah. And that's where you can do whatever you want. Like you be happy, you be you. But I think there is an element to like having that shared experience, which is fun. So
here's the thing. On last Thursday, we had the Lost panel, the Lost Fans Unite panel at Comic-Con. I was on that panel. I was wearing pink. After that, we went to the beach to shoot some stuff with our friend Joe Garfane. And she mentioned my shoes because I was wearing my pink Chucks. I also had my pink Hawaiian shirt on that I wore at the panel. And so we get to the beach and she's like, of course you have pink shoes. I said, yeah. And then I showed her my belt, and my belt is also pink. So it's not like I don't have.
I know, that's what's so. This was like your chance to be stuff. Pink, with other pink enthusiasts.
I don't know. My worldview is very strange. I hate saying God bless you to people who sneeze.
Okay, then just say, I don't know, say Gesundheit or something. I don't know.
I don't know. There's just certain social things that we're all supposed to do, and it just listen. It's not about me. It's not about me. And I feel like wolf in sheep's clothing. That's the saying, right?
Sure. You feel like you're not. Yeah, you're faking.
I feel like I don't mind wearing pink, but I felt like that wasn't my moment.
Yeah,
to wear pink. I don't know.
Well, we got Colleen's back. Okay,
sorry. The thing that disconnected before we started was the little router extender. So you guys were your talking wasn't matching with your lips, and I didn't know when I could talk. So
all right,
here we are.
Is everything fine, Colleen? Are you good? You're
blinking,
across the way.
So
you're
it's
in
resetting.
your office right now.
Whenever.
Okay, so I think the way I would like to do this order is the way we watched it, which was Oppenheimer, Barbie. That's why we're wearing the Oppenheimer hats first. Are you okay with that, Ralph?
Yeah, I think that's the way to go after seeing both movies.
Well, let's talk about that. Yeah, just order. You did Barbie, Oppenheimer. We did Oppenheimer, Barbie.
But I had like 4 or 5 days in between to sort of. And then after Oppenheimer was like, I needed some decompression, hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where, because both movies are stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Yep.
Barbie, I want to see again.
I want to see them both.
Oppenheimer, but Oppenheimer's not. It's crazy they shot Oppenheimer in IMAX because why?
Because it's cool. Because it's going to win them an Oscar.
To me, I think Nolan pulled off you're right, it's like scientists talking about stuff, but it's like a still play. It's still a Nolan movie in that, like, his edits and his feel and his rhythm and those special effects moments, or those little cut-in spurts of physics and the little the moving dust and stuff like that. I want to see it in IMAX just after seeing it in a regular movie theater, just because.
We saw it in IMAX.
Yeah. And it was again, luckily the theater we saw in had a nice blaring, really good audio. It rumbled.
It's such a loud movie for people talking.
It is.
But
that's why I love it. That's why I love it.
Spoilers. But the funniest thing about the movie is the quietest moment in the movie is when they finally drop the bomb.
Yeah.
And
that's what makes it that scene so powerful. Colleen, please. We did it Oppenheimer, Barbie. That's the way I think it should be done. What's your thoughts on that, Colleen? You did it with me that way.
I agree. If there was going to be an order, I definitely think that is the right order to do it in. The only thing was Oppenheimer is so powerful that it was hard to, when you asked me what did you think about Barbie after, I had to physically turn a switch in my brain still to be like, okay, wait, hold on. Let me think about what we just saw first. Because it's just so overwhelmingly, because it really happened. But that said, I would rather have a fun movie like Barbie as my chaser than start with Barbie. Because if I'd started with Barbie, I wouldn't remember anything that we saw with Barbie.
But I think right there, Colleen. Good, Ralph. Sorry.
This is what's jacked up. So there's a scene in Oppenheimer, which is just like it. I don't know. It physically made me feel like guilty and horrible. So there's this scene where it's a group of white men in a room discussing where should we drop these bombs.
Oh yeah.
Not whether if or should they drop these bombs.
Sure.
Where.
Yeah.
And one of the guys is like, well, we won't drop it here because it's very culturally relevant.
Yeah.
But also, we
Like their
vacation there and
honeymoon
it's a very
there.
nice
Yeah.
place. And
Yeah.
people laughed. And I
Yeah.
think the reason why people laughed is a nervous laugh, but it's so ludicrous. And
Absolutely.
it's like heartbreaking that they're just deciding how many thousands of people they're just gonna murder.
Yeah.
Not whether
Yep.
they should or not, but which ones. Which ones
Yeah.
should we murder?
Yeah.
And it's just this group of white men, and it's just a heartbreaking scene. And so of course you want to watch Barbie after, because Barbie brings up that very thing, is just a bunch of white men in a room in control of Barbie land, and in control of the world. And it's one of those, it feels more hopeful, I guess, if you watch Oppenheimer first and then Barbie, because the messages and like everything in Oppenheimer is just like, when the bomb is successful and they're all celebrating, and it's just like, I don't know, 5 minutes of just people cheering and hoisting Oppenheimer up on the shoulder in front of the American flag. And you're just like, this is so gross. It's so gross. And it's this gut punch where you're just like, I can't believe this is a real thing. I need to escape this reality and be in Barbie land so bad.
Well, that's actually, that's where I think, to me, the beauty of the two back to back is that there is no escaping it, right? And that's like Oppenheimer's reality, is that they had good intentions, right? Like, you don't want Hitler with a nuclear bomb, because who's he going to go? I mean, he's already trying to eradicate the Jewish population. So we got it. Like, of course he's going to kill us all. And so, but then there's the, well, he killed himself. So then what's, but this is already kind of too far gone. And that's the rub of it. And you're 100% right. There are villains in that story. And then Oppenheimer is both, you know, the villain in that he helped make this thing happen, but his intentions, you know, were from a good place. And like, for better or worse, post World War II peacetime, there hasn't been something on that scale, because there is the fear of everybody has nukes. So if it does get to something on that level again, we're all toast anyway.
Yeah, that final shot in Oppenheimer where you're like, it feels a little like banging you over the head, like, but I mean, that's the reality. Yeah. And it sucks. Like, it's something that's out of everybody's control.
Yeah. Yeah. And so to me, but it's also, but I think it's just humanity in general. Like that's what I love about both of these movies and how they face existentialism. Whereas it's all made up. Everything that oppresses us or makes us happy or whatever is by our own design. You know, outside of external weather factors, everything else we've made.
One could argue we've even made the weather factors at this point.
Well, you're right. But, in the sense of, like, we created our own, the only thing that could kill all of us, in one fell swoop, that was created by us. Barbie was created by a person. And Barbie just wants to experience that reality, or to live life, even though knowing that life ends. Like, it's not this forever thing, and it's flawed, but there's the beauty of it. And so to me, it's such a beautiful 1-2 punch of, like, the destructive nature of humanity and the beauty of humanity, as like this kind of yin and yang kind of thing, where, you know, Oppenheimer created a thing that'll destroy it all, and Barbie actually chooses to live instead of being an immortal idea. And that, to me, is like how, at least just how I viewed it, it was just a really beautiful kind of two sides of the same coin on humanity, good and bad. Colleen, what was your thoughts of it?
You're good. I think we should end the show. Leave that as our final notes. No, I'm just kidding. No, I agree. I went in there and I had managed to successfully avoid a lot of the Barbie spoilers. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, the Oppenheimer spoilers. I had seen the things on Twitter that talked about the repercussions of, like, the test bomb being dropped in the desert, the Trinity.
Yeah, Los Alamos, yeah.
And yeah, and so I had read, and I had opinions of my own, about it beforehand. So I actually went in there and thought, okay, I'm watching a movie about Oppenheimer. I'm not watching and his life story. I'm not watching a movie about something the American government did. I'm watching a biography of a man that created something that we can't, let the genie out of the bottle.
Yeah.
And I think going in it with that attitude, I actually enjoyed it a lot more. And then it even like the whole 3 hours made a lot more sense to me too, just because he had a very eventful life.
Well, I bought the book because I kind of want to read it. I found it really fascinating. And this is a thick ass book. And then look at the text. It is like tiny. So this is the book he based the movie off of, American Prometheus. So condensing this to 3 hours, I assume he like paraphrased a lot of it to get.
Yeah, this is his Hamilton. So like you're
pretty much. Yeah, right. It's very much. But there's a lot of parallels to Hamilton too, right? Where it's this kind of genius guy, flawed human being.
Has lots of sex with lots of people.
And created this thing that's going to outlive him. Was it good? Was it bad? Actually, Oppenheimer's more bad than maybe Hamilton, but there's things that Hamilton created that were bad.
He even asked at one point, who tells your story?
Right? Yeah, right. Exactly. I guess spoiler alerts, Studio Henge, good point. We're going to be talking about the movies. But again, Oppenheimer's history, so not too spoiler, but that's fair. That's fair. BTG, press us and makes us happy. We talking Barbie now. I love this. Charlie Weaver is Charlie exercise, but for real. Hung Wen in the house. Good to see you, Hung Wen. I know people love audiobooks, but there's nothing like getting into a good book. I love a good book. Okay, but before we get to that, I still want pluses in. Anyone else tired of Nolan's non-linear storytelling? I think it's a third. This is where I actually really loved it. I love his sense of prestige, or just I would call it the prestige, like just his trick of the whole Einstein conversation and then closing on what the actual conversation was. That. It made it so much more powerful. Go ahead, Colleen.
Oh, I had a feeling it was going to close. I told you this, but I had a feeling that it was going to end. It was like Chekhov's, Einstein conversation, except they kept reminding of us the whole movie. So not really. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was very neat how they tied in "And Now I Am Death," the destroyer of worlds. Yeah. I didn't realize that Oppenheimer actually said that, like went on record to say that was the quote that flashed through his mind when they did the test.
Yeah,
I thought that was very cool.
It's a video. It's on YouTube. You can watch it, and you can just see there's a lot of regret. He clearly had a lot of regret because he spent the rest of his life kind of atoning for it in a way. Ralph, what was your thoughts on the non-linear storytelling? I know you do not like Hans Zimmer. I love Hans Zimmer and Nolan paired because I feel like they match really well together, their styles. But what was your thoughts on the non-linear storytelling?
Why did you bring up Hans Zimmer?
How do you not?
Because you were talking to the guy that sold us the popcorn for Barbie about Hans Zimmer's score.
But how do you not go like, bah, like I love his scores with Nolan movies, but go ahead. Sorry.
He didn't do the Oppenheimer score.
He didn't? That wasn't him? Who was it?
No, it was Ludwig Göransson.
Oh, well, it was very Hans Zimmer-esque.
Well, I mean, here's the thing with a couple things.
Okay.
First of all, we'll get into that in a second. The non-linear, there goes Colleen. The non-linear storytelling kind of helps as far as a 3-hour movie about conversations. Like it's 3-hour movie of just conversations.
Yeah.
So to sort of split it up into two main stories, which is the hearings and then the actual construction of the bomb.
Yeah.
I felt that it was a nice way to sort of break things up and move it along a little bit better. If it was linear, can you imagine just sitting through the whole bomb thing and then all of a sudden now you got to watch an hour and a half of just the hearings? So I think it works in this really well. It just takes you a little. It took me a little while because I don't know history that well to realize when in the timeline these things were.
Yeah.
That's me. But because you're doing this thing where, I mean, they did condense that book down to 3 hours, and there are just scene after scene after scene after scene after scene,
Mm-hmm.
where the whole movie almost feels like one big giant series of montages.
Yeah.
And so for Ludwig Göransson doing the score, you have to kind of keep a cohesion. It's impossible to score something where you can be in like 1940 1 second, and then the next second being like the 50s and 60s, and just kind of cutting back and forth. I really like the music. I thought it was really good. I'm pretty sure my issues with Hans Zimmer is that he doesn't write the majority of his music. He'll write maybe 20 minutes of music, not to film. He won't watch the film. He'll write the music before the film, hand it off to a group of people who score the film using variations on that music. And so it's lazy. He's lazy. And so Ludwig Göransson, most likely he might have had maybe a couple of additional musicians on it, but I doubt it. He didn't do the last season of Mandalorian because of, he was working on this. Okay. So I'm assuming, Hans Zimmer wouldn't do that. Hans Zimmer would just slap his name on everything. But as far as the nonlinear storytelling, it helped me not start shifting in my seat. And I was just like, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And it's because really it's the performances.
Oh, the acting. Every
good actor, is in this movie.
Yeah.
And
save for Josh Hartnett. Sorry.
Hey, Josh Hartnett's a good actor. He was
great.
He was. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It took me an hour. It took me about 2.5 hours to realize it was Josh Hartnett. I turned to Jack at one point, and it was it was the scene in the hallway when his friend, the Jewish kid from 10 Things I Hate About You, when he was giving him, making him eat the oranges, and Josh Hartnett character walks up and then turns around, and I was like, Jack, that's Josh Hartnett. And he was like, what? I was like, way to go. There's 20 minutes left of this movie.
There was, but you couldn't take your eyes off the actors.
Yeah.
Everyone was amazing. Everyone was absolutely amazing.
Who do you give? Cillian Murphy. How about Cillian Murphy? Just killing it.
Nominated for best.
Leading
actor in a lead role.
Yep.
For sure.
Emily Blunt.
Yep.
Actress in a lead role.
Whew, talk about a complicated character she had to play. Wow. And played it so well. You had those moments where you're like, yeah, awesome, she's amazing, and the other's like, you're a horrible person. But what I loved about that personally is it was just a very real person. There was no just all her flaws, all of her strengths were just kind of all there, and it wasn't trying to frame your opinion one way or another, right? Clearly didn't want to be a mother, but got sacked, with kids early, and clearly didn't want to do it. But then, was an ardent defender of Oppenheimer and had his back. And then if you look in the future, they actually had a good relationship with their kids. So maybe it was just a period of time that wasn't good for her or whatever. But anyway,
she just didn't like babies or kids.
I'm not a big fan of babies
either.
either.
My own children have made me cry at least twice in the last month. I get it.
She's a big fan of the bottle too.
But just, and then let's talk about Robert Downey Jr., who had some clunkers post Endgame, but wow.
Best supporting actor nomination.
I knew he was going to be the bad guy.
Alden Ehrenreich was great. Rami Malek, Florence Pugh.
Spectacular.
Florence Pugh. Whoo.
Yeah, can we talk about that scene where this scene I thought was maybe one of the best scenes in the whole movie, where he's giving the testimony about his affair with what was her name?
Florence Pugh.
No. She was,
I know. Let's say it's Florence Pugh.
Okay. And you see is his wife just cut to that, and how she's just it just becomes about her, and she's just imagining their affair, and just that look that Florence Pugh gives her. They didn't give Florence Pugh enough to do in this movie. I understand that she didn't need more to do. But
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if she got a Best Supporting Actress nomination for this too, because she did a spectacular job.
Well, and this is where poor Florence, so naked, not really necessary. I'm go ahead, Colleen, please. Yeah.
She said in an interview that she was totally fine with all that. She had a great experience.
But to me,
sorry,
no, that's fine.
I was wondering about that too.
But to me, it was yeah, I'm not. If it's just gratuitous sex, like sure, that's fine. But in a movie like this, it has a broader theme than I don't know, Porky's or something. But
the scene in sort of the interrogation room, where
but it's so
Emily
powerful.
Blunt
I think
is imagining that happening in the room
exactly, and that's what makes it so powerful. But even that, like you had to. Oppenheimer, as far as I know, had more than just that extra relationship. Like he definitely slept around. That was one of the big criticisms of him, is that especially for the time, he had a lot more of a laissez-faire, sexual relationships with different people.
And apparently his wife knew about like all of it.
Yeah. And so I think you had to include that in the movie just because that's a part of who it's a core part of who he is, and you had to put it in there.
You had to, because it was part of the hearings anyway.
Yeah.
So it was there. But as far as the nudity goes, I can understand why some people might feel that was gratuitous, because there was a lot of almost every scene. Well, let's say she was in 10 scenes, like 8 of the scenes, her titties were out. Yeah. But sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on here.
You're fine, I guess.
It's not the broadcast.
No.
But as far as just showing the affairs in general, like the man got down, he got busy with people, and they picked and chose the one that actually came back to haunt him in the end.
Yeah, the one that was a communist. Yeah.
Because wasn't he allegedly with the woman who? He was with somebody else, because they say like a throwaway line.
The blonde lady, the wife.
Yeah, he had a relationship with her too.
Yeah.
The guy liked to get around.
If they don't address that in the movie, then people will jump all over Nolan for not addressing that in the movie.
Yeah, be like, well, you make him seem like a saint that just created a bomb. Like,
that's again, I like this movie. It showed all of it, and you see that he's not a saint, he's not evil, he's just a human. And
there's probably a longer cut of this out there somewhere.
Oh, absolutely, and I'd watch it. But I like the pacing of it. I like just the vignettes, just little vignettes as you kind of go along here. Let me talk about. Let me hit some chats up here. Charlie Weaver.
Okay.
I read the book, no dig at Nolan, but I think I would have preferred the HBO Chernobyl treatment. Give me 9 hours to tell this story. I think so too. Yeah. I think you could have taken a more leisurely pace, but I like the Nolan approach of just these vignettes, these glimpses to get it into a 3, because it was a moving picture. I thought it was a moving picture. All music fan, when I hear Oppenheimer, I think of Alan Oppenheimer from Filmation Skeletor. Sorry, couldn't help it. I believe they're related. I think I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, you told me they were related.
Yeah. Dollar Tree, Hans Zimmer. Don't say it in front of we already said it in front of Ralph.
No.
That's it. He's done.
Take 2, because real quick, let me get through these chats. Take 2, Prestige was decently made, but I realized the conclusion in the first 15 minutes. Put it away. And then had to endure the beating of the dead horse for the next hour plus. BTG, no, the Einstein thing was good. Flipping back and forth, the 3 different timelines, not so much. Judy said had time to figure out which time had passed between the different timelines. To me, because I like that when it was Oppenheimer's perspective, his first person, it was in color. If it was another person's perspective, it was in black and white. I thought that worked. And I thought clearly, like it was somewhat linear outside of the trial,
And then when they were in that trial perspective, it was a different filter too that was on. Because that's how I kept track, was the black and white. There was a distinctly different filter, and then the color of the bomb timeline.
Stevie Oppo, I think the nudity between them show how Ron literally figured Bear, Jean, and Opie were with each other. No, I agree. It's just there's there's a connect. Obviously, they had a connection, and yeah, absolutely. And then Christopher, I've listened to Ken's song 5 times the last 30 minutes. I'm not ashamed. Banger of a soundtrack on Barbie. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, we're kind of at 40 minutes here. No way we could cover a 3-hour movie in that amount of time, but kind of final things that we want to call out from this movie before we move on and talk about Barbie. Colleen, any final things you want to cover before we move on from it?
I think it was a great movie. Like, truly, I went in there expecting to not like it. I didn't think I was going to like the subject matter. I didn't think I was going to like that it was 3 hours long. I loved it. I thought it was a really, really great movie. I like watching historical kind of stuff like that. I don't love war movies, but I guess I like war movies where they don't show the war.
Yeah, they didn't show any of the war.
No.
Which I think was effective because, they even showed like the aftermath of Hiroshima.
Mm-hmm.
And but off screen, and you're only getting your cues on how horrible it is through Cillian Murphy's reactions to it and what he's done. And then you see a little bit during the speech, the sort of victory speech he gives in front of everybody in the town, and he has that vision of the woman's face flaking off and stuff. Radiation. And it's like they only have to show that little bit for you to understand the weight of this thing and how awful it was. Yeah. And just like seeing the ash person down by his feet and stuff. And it's just like it's powerful. And if you haven't seen it, I mean, it's not like a crowd pleaser. It's not a Marvel movie. You're not getting any action sequences.
But we're tired of Marvel movies at this point anyway, right?
Right. But it's one of those things where it's just like, imagine you're going into a 3-hour play, because that's what it feels like, but it's acted by like the best acting ever.
Yeah.
It's so good.
But to me, the whole sequence when just leading up to the actual test, the Trinity test, that to me was like an action movie, because even just Josh, Drake and Josh, what's his last name? He played the guy who had to like push the button, right? Oh, yeah. And just that whole sequence, like the drink between Matt Damon and him the night before, like, oh wait, this thing could destroy the world. I was like, well, near zero. To just like the trembling of the hand, to the putting the extra, face cream on and the glasses. Just that it was incredible. And the music, crescendoing to the point of hitting the button, and then you hit the button and it's silent.
You just hear it breathing.
Yes. And you see this explosion, which was a practical effect. Don't know how he did a practical effect nuclear explosion. We'll have to wait till the DVD commentaries.
Yeah, somebody check on the New Mexican desert again, please.
I heard he threw like 25 tons of dynamite in a hole or something crazy like that. I don't know. It was some nuts thing.
Hopefully it was a hole that already existed, because it had been like fracked to death already, and we didn't like create a new hole in the burning planet.
Insane. But so just like, and then we don't get sound until the sound wave finally hits them where they are.
I loved that.
That hit our theater so hard, everybody jumped.
Yes, same in our theater. Actually, Jack. So I watched it with my dad, Jack. We brought him out to go see it with us. And
I didn't just whisper about Josh Hartnett to a rando.
No. Jack was there with us, and he was expecting the noise, so he was like already prepared. But then there was no noise, and then when the sound wave hit, he jumped out of his seat. It was insane.
And they set that up earlier when they were doing the test. Like, you're gonna see it before you hear it.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it just lulled us into like watching this thing happen and everybody's reaction to this thing happen, holding the viewers over their face so their eyes don't get melted out. Or the breathing gets you lured into this sense of, oh, it's done.
Yeah.
And then it's not. And then it scares the crap out.
Hey, Jay, before we move on, I just real quick, the scene with Truman, I thought that was.
Oh wow! Fuck Truman. I'll put that's my one F-bomb tonight.
Darn it! You took it. I can't use it now.
It's my channel, baby. No, okay, whatever.
Well, then I'm gonna say titties all night long.
No, that's it. You only get two. You only get two of those.
You get two titties. Oh, okay. I didn't. Anyway, I thought that was actually. Even it was such like it wasn't even a serious scene, because Truman's so whatever about it,
nonchalantly a horrible person,
so nonchalant about it. And I thought that it was actually kind of profound, where he was like, nobody cares who made the bomb, they cared who dropped the bomb.
Yeah,
like he was taking credit.
Well, not only that, but also can we just not let the crybaby, and he's never allowed in again or whatever?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Damn.
DICK.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gary Oldman doing his thing.
Talk about Gary Oldman. Like,
pop in a movie. He just pops in a movie, knocks it out of the park, and then takes off.
We show up, make up for a few hours.
Yeah. Amazing.
BTG, Colleen saying titties is my new favorite thing.
My grandma says that word still, so I love it.
Gary Oldman was the perfect casting. He's perfect. No, Gary Oldman is always the perfect casting, right? Like, he doesn't not show up and do a great job. Like, it's just, you're guaranteed a good performance, even if it's like for 3 minutes, but an incredible performance. Talk about some of the other ones. Matt Damon, I thought was fantastic. I thought he was great as the general. Any other performance?
Josh Hartnett was Matt Damon for a bit until Matt Damon showed up. I was like, man, Matt Damon really lost a lot of weight for this role. Good for him.
But yeah, RDJ was great. Like, you loved to hate him.
Casey Affleck.
Oh, Casey Affleck. Whew, he even though for a little bit and just seeing up as like he's this horrible person, like, I thought he looked crazy. Like, I thought they just had that crazy eye, like, I'm gonna murder you eyes, like, in that conversation. It was insane.
Well, that's what I said to you after we saw it. I said, Christopher Nolan, like, I don't know much about him because I don't really follow his movies. You're way more into them than I am. I have only seen The Sleeping One once, and that's enough for me.
You mean Inception?
Batman, right?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I thought you meant Insomnia.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
Well, I guess that's not the not sleepy one.
That's the not sleeping one.
You seem like the Batmans, right?
Yeah, I liked the first and the second one.
Too. You like the third one? I like the third one.
Okay.
I like all of them.
It was too long.
Too long?
Dark Knight Rises again, or whatever it was called. Like, was that what it's called?
Dark Knight Rises. Just Dark Knight Rises.
So the second one is the Dark Knight. Yeah, that's a great movie. But the third one is just way too long for me. Anyway.
Colleen hates long movies.
She liked Oppenheimer, so.
I did.
It's got to show you something.
One bathroom break. Of course, it was at the park.
I had two pee breaks. And I
had two.
Jack
had 0, which is odd because in a normal day, Jack is like 4 bathroom breaks an hour. So I was very surprised.
We were at the very top of the theater, though. We were way in back.
I don't do bathroom breaks.
I can't. I have to go. I gotta go.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable to sit there with a full bladder out.
Yeah.
You empty it before you go in.
I did a tactical wee. I did a tactical wee before, and I still had to go.
Twice.
Well, this is my problem. Is I got a big thing of diet or Coke Zero. You know.
Yeah, and it was 9. We saw it at 9:10, so I had 2 cups of coffee beforehand, and then I had a bottle of water at the theater. So I think BTG has like a great idea. Bring back intermission for movies anything over 2.5 hours. But don't you guys use that bathroom break app? What's it called? Like, you know.
Again, I would prefer not to go to the bathroom. I don't want to miss anything, but apparently I have a tiny little bladder during a movie. This is what I shouldn't drink during the movie, but I get a medium Coke Zero, a bag of popcorn, and a bag of Twizzlers, and that is my movie. That's my go-to. So I just
Oppenheimer. Get some get some snacks for it.
You did. You got Twizzlers. I was like, do you need anything? I was like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
No, by the time I was eating the Twizzlers, it was already 11 o'clock. All right, it's a 3-hour movie. Okay, I was feeling a little peckish by the time I got here. Let's see. I thought Colleen sounded like the Italian woman from Brooklyn. The ones I grew. She's an Italian woman from Long Island.
I descend from Italian women from Brooklyn. My grandpa grew up in Brooklyn, and my grandma grew up on Long Island. Thank you very much.
Pop rocks for Oppenheimer. Oh, Charlie Weaver. Guy next to me went pee right during the reveal of the full Einstein conversation. Now that
It's like the last 5 minutes.
How do you do it there?
That's what she said.
Hold on, I got you, Carl.
That's what she said.
Damn, that's a bummer because that to me that was the Prestige. That was the I was like, perfect.
And I even said to Jack when he was like so obsessed about the conversation, I was like, watch, it's not even going to be about him.
But that was so great that it was so perfect for the RDJ character, Strauss.
And we don't have enough time, but I highly recommend you guys read up about the real life Strauss.
Well, I am right now because I got.
Yes, you are.
American Prometheus, a 7,000 page book. No, it's only 600 and wait.
I'm just saying.
600 page small text book. Okay, let's move on. Oh, just real quick, we can thank Robert Pattinson, Mr. R. Bats himself, for giving Christopher Nolan these Oppenheimer letters when they closed filming Tenet, and it's because of those that he gave him that set Nolan on the path to want to make this movie. So people like to. I feel like we're very pro our Pats here, but people like to dog on him.
Our Pats. He's all right.
Sorry,
he was in the 3-hour Batman movie.
Which one?
The Batman.
Oh, the Batman. I saw that one. I liked it. It was okay, but was it 3 hours?
I had to pee 4 times in that one.
I know.
0 times.
The worst was Civil War. Oh my! No, not Civil War.
Civil War. Endgame, I only peed once. In Endgame, I was really proud of myself.
Oh no, I hurt so badly during when I had to go during Civil War that I ran out as soon as the credits started.
When you have to go, you have to go.
Yeah. Anyway, never again.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on here. All right.
All right.
It's time to switch gears. Hold on.
Oh, hold on. Wait. Hold on.
I'll remove you.
Okay,
oh,
here we go.
And there's Ralph.
I had glitter too that I was going to pull over my face, but I'm not anymore because it's 10:30 and I don't want to spend that much time watching my face later.
It was a weird. I don't know, Jacob. I really had to pee a lot. I think it was like almost like an anxious pee. Eventually, I was like, because I went. Yeah, I think it was the second time I saw it. I took John from Toy Geeks to go see it, and I just for some reason
second time. That's fine.
Yeah, the second time I peed 4 times. I think the first time maybe only 1 time. Colleen is going to change her earrings real quick.
I had the Barbie that had remember the Barbie with anybody out there with the holes in her ears you could put your earrings in?
Of course.
Yeah.
My sisters had that one. Okay. Let's move on to Barbie.
This is the only time I can ever wear these earrings that you got for me from an antique show from the 80s.
It's a vintage clothing fair I got that for.
I still take offense to that.
Okay. We went and saw Barbie, and even
what was that?
It was an incredible, I loved it from start to finish. I thought it was pitch perfect throughout. I know there's a subset of dudes that I guess hate this movie for whatever reason, but or say it's like a man-hating movie or whatever. But to me, I thought it was bigger than any of the times they were taking the piss on men. It was totally fair critiques, and it wasn't. It wasn't about dudes, and I feel like the people that are saying it was about hating dudes kind of missed the point of the movie, because you still thought it was about you when it wasn't. But anyway, what's your all's kind of initial takes on the film? Colleen looks like she's muted because she's doing something. So Ralph, I'll give you first pass, and then we'll go to Colleen.
I almost feel like go ahead, Colleen.
Oh, no, I was here. There was something playing and I couldn't figure it out, but I had 47 and a half browsers open, so I had to close all of them.
The Ken song? Was it the Ken song?
No, I think it was Nancy Drew from the CW.
Oh, nice. It wasn't made for me. Yeah, no shit. No, I agree.
I feel like if you're a guy and you actually go and see it and felt like it was attacking you, that might be on you.
Yeah, maybe you need
to good fun about things that are totally real. So if you're uncomfortable, maybe.
But yeah, even so, it was all like really funny. Like, all the jokes at us guys' expenses, I thought were really like dead on. Like just when Ken goes to the real world and it's just like, wait, they love me here. And then he just like makes his whole personality boxing movies, horses. And it was so funny. As someone that generally does not like the bro-ish culture, I thought it was hilarious.
I feel like a lot of people interject whatever they want into Barbie and decide whether she's, a feminist icon or if she's a dumb blonde or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Nobody has any opinion on Ken.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the character was in that world.
Yeah.
He was literally beach. And so they made Ken isn't like every dude. Ken is like the most baseline, no personality, stupid, has nothing going on, blank slate of a empty shell of a man.
Yeah.
That's what Ken is. And that's how he was written. And that's how he was portrayed. And with somebody that empty, as soon as he sees something different, his brain starts getting filled up with that stuff. And Boocat says Ken is an accessory to Barbie. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. It's hard for me to talk about because like I'm not like I don't know. I'm a guy. I'm a
well, then let's hand it over to the female representation in this conversation. Colleen.
So think of this.
Yeah.
Imagine you're a girl. No, I'm just kidding.
Picture yourself, if you will, as a lady.
Okay.
Or don't even
Florence
like
Pugh. I got
Florence Pugh.
Okay. That's the one I chose.
We can probably find you a Florence Pugh Barbie somewhere. I'm sure some Japanese company somewhere has already made a doll of Florence Pugh. All right. Anyway, but
Hot Toys.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
No. So, but think of it this way: like it is kind of I think a lot of people were going into this movie since we didn't really know a lot about it beforehand, right? Because there was a lot of like guessing what could it be about. Is it a Wizard of Oz kind of thing? Is it this? Is it that?
Yeah.
Is it going to be more like we see the Barbies live out like a Barbie plot, like Lego Movie or whatever you were talking about?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was about Barbie, a woman in a perfect reality where women run everything, and she's going into the real world that she thinks existed for her, that she thinks that her Barbie land solved all the problem of women. And of course, what is she going to encounter when she goes into the real world? The very first thing that happens to her, she's in the roller skating outfit, she gets catcalled. She gets her butt slapped. Like, it's kind of realistic. Like it's not like they made a movie like on to go out there and bash men, because they didn't. Because at the end of the story, at the end of the movie, rather, the story was everybody kind of gained some growth, including Ken, who learned that he was enough. He didn't have to tie he didn't have to tie his self-worth into Barbie. Which is a trope, more so probably in like 90s teen movies where the females were tying their self-worth into what the boys thought of them or something. But like Barbie was in for an awakening, and I thought a lot of that stuff was pretty tame. Like if you were uncomfortable that Barbie got her butt slapped or that people on a construction site were catcalling her, like that was taken out of like a real life lawsuit or something that happened 20 years ago in like New York. I remember reading about it. Like a woman was very upset that she couldn't walk by without people like yelling things at her. And if you don't like that behavior, then I don't know, it might make you uncomfortable. Like think of how you can, be better, or maybe you're not doing it, but like if you see it, stand up for a woman that might be Something like that. But what I really liked about the movie in general, other than all of the super fun representation of all the Barbies that I had growing up, and then some, thought
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it was fun watching the movie because you're just like, oh, I had that one. Oh, I had that one.
Yeah.
But
no, I liked honestly, I think the biggest thing that I liked about the movie was that it actually, at the end of the day, was a story about how when you expand your perspective, you expand your horizons, you expand your world without that like echo chamber that you're living within, how you change. You're going to inevitably change, and you can't put the cat back in the bag, but that's how we grow. That's how we progress. We see how things are for better or for worse somewhere else. I liked that. I told you I liked that.
No, I agree. Like, to me, the theme, again, it's an existentialist theme of like, what is it to exist? And Barbie goes on. I love this by Judy here. Barbie is very much the story of a girl growing up and learning about the reality of the world, which is kind of, and then the America Ferrera character, and like her, like that's what kind of caused the existential crisis in the stereotypical Barbie, Margot Robbie's character.
I love that it was the mom and not the daughter.
Yes, I nice love that twist as well.
And that made sense because
it did.
The mom grew up, with the expectations that her life would be something like the world that Barbie made.
Yeah.
And she wasn't living that in any aspect of her life.
Actually, I did want to ask you that, Colleen, because you're of America Ferrera's age range. You grew up in the 80s and the 90s. You had She-Ra and Barbie.
I think we're the same age, America Ferrera and I.
Are you the same age? Okay, awesome.
I think so.
So like you kind of grew up with that whatever. I mean, not saying Barbie isn't idealized now, but whatever that thing is that maybe set those expectations. Like, did a lot of that seem to hit home for you, or did it feel like there was parallels there for you as a mom now and a former Barbie, or still fan of Barbie and all that kind of stuff?
Yes and no. Yes, because when I grew up, Barbies to me were they were my G.I. Joes or
Avatars,
my toys that I played with like nonstop. I created storylines with them. My parents actually recently found a notebook that I hand wrote in 3rd grade with like plot lines of Barbie stuff and gave to me, which I thought was absolutely hilarious that they found it. But so it was like my outlet. I created worlds of, whether it was something I was mimicking that I saw on TV, or I had this whole storyline where at one point where the Barbie dolls were like, one was a newspaper reporter, and the other one was Hollywood Hair Teresa was the star, and she was a singer, and I forget it was a midge. It was because it was a redhead one, so it must have been a midge or something, who was the newspaper reporter, and I would mimic things I saw in like the tabloids in the grocery stores and like act out, very like age appropriate storylines, but that was kind of like pre-Sims, where I got to do all that stuff in person, and then I went on as I became a teenager and played The Sims and really liked it, but and made storylines to continue. But with the Barbies, that was where I grew worlds. I built worlds, and that translated to arts and crafts that I did. So, and a lot of that stuff, maybe it did set expectations. Okay, I'm doing this now with my Barbie dolls. I can grow up and I can do anything that I want to and be anything that I want to, just like my Barbie dolls.
I'm trying to find a Hollywood Hair Teresa. Hold on. But it says Barbie.
It was the brunette Teresa, because as somebody pointed out, stereotypical Barbie had the blonde hair. Yeah, that looks like her.
Hold on.
But I had changed her clothes. I think I had used, let me see.
Hold on. There we go. Is that the Hollywood Hair Teresa?
That looks like her.
Yeah, it's Teresa right here. Yeah.
Yeah, very long hair.
What was in the spray bottle? Was it actual hairspray?
No, you could stencil hair. If I remember correctly, you could stencil
pink stars up here. Okay.
Yeah.
It was like a glitter or something.
Yeah.
So do you have any of these still? Are they still at your parents' house?
They're all still at her parents' house.
They are.
Okay.
But my niece has when you're the only granddaughter from a family of 3 sisters, and you have only brothers and boy cousins, you get very lucky with the things that you inherit. And my niece Evangeline has all of them now. But yeah, they stay in my parents' basement.
Because I was gonna say you need some glass cases in your background.
Oh no, they all look like weird Barbie by the end.
But there's something kind of nice about that. The
I loved it.
Weird Barbie. Kate McKinnon is wonderful.
She's awesome.
But B, also they were kind of set aside in Barbie Land, but not discarded, which was really nice. And still had some, even though stereotypical Barbie, Margot Robbie, felt a little weird about going up and talking to her.
Yeah, because she's the weird Barbie.
But that's what happens in real life. She was different. She had to go learn that she wasn't really that different.
Yeah.
But she's still relevant. It doesn't matter how weird you are. You're still relevant.
Oh, absolutely.
And the performance was great. The makeup was great. Again, like along with Oppenheimer, like perfect casting. Everyone's terrific. Everyone was so good in the movie. Yeah. And it's just so compelling to watch. This whole thing played out. It did remind me of the Lego Movie meets Asteroid City. It was just surprising to me. Like I heard it was good and I'm like, oh, I'm going to like it. It's going to be good and stuff. But I got super invested in it and I got super emotional.
Yeah.
There's some scenes like, when Margot Robbie is just sitting there and she's just
having her
like completely she's just like kind of done. And America Ferrera is there and gives that speech.
The
and
speech,
you're just like,
an amazing speech.
Good.
And then Colleen, you said they did that over 3 days and like everyone else could recite it word for word or something like that.
I think I saw that on Facebook where America Ferrera said that it took them 3 days to film that one scene, and by the end, she was like sick of saying it, but like some of the castmates were like going up and reciting it to her because they had heard it so many times.
It was really good. I thought that was really powerful. But yeah, just her, Margot Robbie, I've thought is a great actress in many roles, but I think she nailed the performance. But I did love because Helen Mirren was the narrator, and I love that because I think it was around that same time. I was like, "This is what was the line, Colleen?"
Oh, she said something like, "I'm something and I'm ugly," and the narrator is just like, "Note to filmmakers: if wanting to convey this, Margot Robbie is probably not the best person to cast."
But that was such a cool pivotal moment. And then I love the Ray Perlman as Ruth, the creator of Barbie.
Yeah, I need a movie on her tax stuff. It seems like
yes.
Chris Nolan, get on it.
Yeah, right. There you go. He can make it interesting. But I love that she wanted to become human. A bit of Pinocchio. People love going back to the Pinocchio well. Just becoming, from a toy to real life.
But that's what was great about this movie is after seeing what the real world is like.
Yeah.
After living her whole life in this perfect reality, or at least it's perfect to her.
Yeah.
For her to make that decision.
Yep.
To still want to give it a go.
Yep.
It is super hopeful.
It is. That's why it's such a perfect. You have Oppenheimer in this one, just because you're right. It is a hopeful view at existence where even though they show like all the shitty things going on with the world, the patriarchy, whatever, the choice is there's still hope. There's still beauty in life, and there's still things we can make better in the world. And I want to be a part of that. And it goes back to that scene where there was the older lady sitting at the thing. And she's like, "You're beautiful." And she's like, "Damn right," whatever she said. "Of course I'm beautiful," or something like that.
She said, "I know it."
Yeah, I know it. Like that was just so. And I think she saw that. I was like, I want to live, and I want to grow old. It's the to live is the greatest adventure. Great line in Hook. Sorry, Steven Spielberg. It is a great movie. But Ralph, I don't want your negativity on Hook tonight. I just don't want it. But
go back to trashing Haunted Mansion. Leave Hook alone.
But let me post to Charlie over here. I got the vibe that Will Ferrell was a Ken from Barbie Land. He seemed to know a lot about Barbie Universe, but zilch about the real world. Did America's character manifest? Okay, can I just say, I love how much Mattel allowed themselves to be made fun of in this movie.
Right?
That's the one thing about both these movies. I feel like the directors, they were also wrote the films as well.
Yes.
Felt like they got no studio notes. Like they were just allowed to do whatever.
Yes.
And there's a lot of shade thrown at Mattel and the creator of Barbie, especially with the tax stuff. It's brought up a couple times. But it's just amazing. Like this is what you get when you just let people make the films they want. Yeah.
But it's my understanding that Margot Robbie, as a producer, had a very big hand in them letting Greta be Greta.
Yeah. I'm glad they did, because I thought it, to your point, like there was no meta. There's like, you tell there clearly wasn't any studio notes, but I give Mattel credit for that because they're a big corporation, a lot of bureaucracy. Could have very easily. What's that?
Is this the first Mattel movie?
I mean,
they had their logo at the beginning
movie.
But as a studio.
This is the first of their, Mattel movieverse that they want to do. Yeah.
I mean, you just kind of got to go for it, right?
Yeah. And I think they did, and that's what made it.
Coming from
what's
Lena
that?
Dunham. Nothing. Go ahead.
But I did want to say, also Lena just being Dunham. Someone that lives in the corporate world, even beyond just the Mattel and the Barbie of it all, I thought there's a lot of just really good jokes about how stupid corporate America is, and my favorite line, because it's something I hear every single day, which is just like, we're gonna have that done by EOD, end of day. Isn't that really clever? Like I was just like, that's so fucking true. But anyway, it was, I don't know, that whole Mattel being cool with them taking the piss for a lot of that movie. I give them credit because it was hilarious.
My other favorite part of this movie, because I really liked how it showed. I really did like how it showed, like when you broaden your horizons, you expand, sometimes for better or for worse. Like Ken took it for worse. Anyway, talked about that already. I really enjoyed, and the part that really touched me, and I think most people in the theater that we saw it with, was the fact that she asked Ruth, "Can I have your permission to be real?" And Ruth is like, "You make the choice. It's your decision. You don't have to ask me for anything."
Yeah.
And I thought that you don't have to ask me permission to be what you want to be. And I thought that was really, really powerful moment.
Paul is just joining. Colleen, Paul was the kind gentleman who took the picture of us in front of the G.I. Joe. He was also at our panel.
Oh, hey! How's it going?
We are talking spoilers, Paul, so just be warned, be forewarned.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. In Oppenheimer, they dropped a bomb on Japan. 2 cities. Not great.
Mattel Cinematic Universe, take 2. Charlie says there was one scene Greta and Margot had to fly to Mattel HQ to act out a scene that was flagged, and the CEO allowed it once they met with him. But anyway,
but that final scene where it's set up in a way where it's like like she's going for a job interview.
Yes.
And like, it's a good joke. Like she's going to see a gynecologist.
Yeah, gyno.
Good joke. Like, oh, that's funny. We thought it was a job interview. It's really the gynecologist, and she's very excited about it. But that means so much more than just the joke.
Absolutely.
Live her whole life not as a woman.
Yeah.
Because Barbie's not anatomically correct. Either is Ken. We learned that as well.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like such a great capper to the movie.
Yeah.
A Barbie now being part of the real world female experience.
Yeah.
Like,
Birkenstocks and all.
And don't forget, the very first scene of the movie is them smashing up baby dolls, talking about how Barbie, changed it so you didn't have to just play, mommy.
Mother.
You could do mother. You could be anything. So I thought that was also really cool that she was kind of full circle going to the lady doctor.
Yeah.
I love, can we say that I am Knuff? The whole Ken the whole fight musical sequence and the fact they did like an old school dream dance sequence, you know, different sound stage, the whole thing. I loved it so much. Even when their chests were together and the sparkles were starting to come, and it was like, oh, it's I freaking love the hell out of it so much.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts?
So there's a person in front of me during Oppenheimer on their phone.
What?
Yes. Were they on Wikipedia?
It might have been Haunted Mansion. I think it was Haunted Mansion. Dude, it's a long weekend. It's been a long week. But during the dance scene in Barbie, there was a girl sitting in front of us, and she took out her phone and was taking like pictures of all those amazing, like those perfect shots of like the dance off when it turns into like the Fosse thing.
Yes,
like,
yes.
So good.
Or the black shirts when they're wearing the black shirts. And she was like taking pictures of like almost every single shot that was like perfectly constructed.
Yes.
And I just sat there and I was like, I don't care. This is a party. This girl is so fired up on like cinema and perfect shots and amazing and just amazing feeling. Like
choreography.
Felt like a party. Like rarely do I go to a movie, because I always go to the movie with my family. Like I never really, I hear Stevie laugh because I'm always sitting next to Stevie. Sometimes I'll hear my sister during a movie laugh and stuff. And in this one, I could just hear them all laughing and everybody in the theater laughing.
Yes.
It just felt like it felt like a party. I know it's a party pooper in my, my black t-shirt.
I know. So you dress all in black.
But I just wanted to had my pink chucks on. I had
all right.
pink chucks. But it's one of those things where I'm just like, this is it was refreshing because everybody was there to have just a really good time. And we definitely collectively as a group, it was a packed theater too.
Yeah.
Had just a wonderful time. And we all came out grinning, but also the three dudes probably learned some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Varying degrees. And then just, I don't know if I am not one to speak on like female experience, but like, I feel like everybody in there, it was like just pure joy. And it felt like, I don't know, there was something that almost felt like there's a movie out there now that can speak to girls who are 5-year-old to 90-year-old. Like there's just it had such a singular voice, and it was fun. It was being in that group of people was entertaining experience, of its own. I don't know if we'll see it again. Hopefully Barbie sparks something. I don't know about Polly Pocket. I don't think I'm going to go see Polly Pocket, but I'm hoping that this movie inspires that girl in front to want to make movies.
Yeah.
Because she definitely, as soon as that scene started, was like, oh my gosh, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and started taking pictures.
That scene was perfect. The whole thing.
And I just and I'm hoping I'm hoping Barbie sales go up, which I'm sure it will, and I hope for all the right reasons. I hope that this movie helped girls of all ages, kids of all ages, to have sort of more of a bigger, more substance to whatever they thought Barbie was before.
And I just want to point
out that you go ahead. Your thoughts now. You're the floor. Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that I don't think the movie was bashing men. I think it was bashing a system of society that we live within.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's not a reason that somebody a man might not want to see it, or a woman, because they feel uncomfortable that it might be divisive or bashing. It truly wasn't. Like, honestly, I heard that hype beforehand, and I thought that it was going to be a lot more sledgehammery with it than it was. Barbie goes to the real world. She discovers there's a patriarchy. So does Ken. Ken had low self-esteem, low self-worth because of how he had been treated. He took it too far. and then realized that that's not who he was either. But and it was just bashing a system. Like I don't think it was not bashing men in general. And I love the choices of music soundtrack. I thought
the
that
Billie Eilish song. I listened to it earlier. I was like, it still kind of makes me cry.
Billie Eilish, yeah. But
it's a good song. The Lizzo song was really good. Sorry, go ahead.
Stevie got a Barbie cassette soundtrack on cassette, and then got a boombox. I don't know if she's still watching, but if she could bring in that boombox, you got to see this boombox she got. It's amazing. But yeah, the soundtrack was great. Yeah, I didn't care for the score that much, but the soundtrack was great. Everything else was better.
Closer to Fine has been one of my favorite songs since 1997 or something like that when I first heard it. So I was happy that song got some 2023 attention. But I thought that the use of Closer to Fine and Push, especially if you go down and look at the lyrics, songs are they're actually really perfect too.
No, I know. It's closer to Colleen, I've been with you for 16 plus years. I know Closer to Fine is one of your jams, one of your sing-along jams. So I was like, oh yeah, this is Colleen's movie. But the whole Push and
not
just
even
like
a sing-along jam.
Sit here while I play this guitar at you and sing at you for 4 hours. I was like, that's so perfect.
Well, it wasn't even if you listen to the lyrics of the song Push, like
that's amazing. That's an amazing
boombox.
That's
amazing.
She's still watching. Oh, it's the Barbie tape's not in here, but that's
okay.
That's awesome.
But go ahead, Colleen. Go ahead.
No, just if you even listen to the lyrics of Push and the fact that it is like I know how much you love Rob Thomas live. It's like your favorite concert going experience ever.
One of the worst concerts that Colleen ever tried.
To be fair, there was like a 2-hour rain delay. He came out incredibly stoned, seemed to not realize he was there. It was a whole thing.
It was such a bad concert.
It was.
But
then he obviously woke up by the end and played
up tempo. All of his upbeat up tempo. He did acoustic versions, and they were really slow.
It was like he was on one of the VH1 Unplugged, but like.
But even they keep the tempo. He did Smooth, the Santana Smooth. There's like, 'cause you're so smooth. Ugh. Oh, that's dope.
Like Rob Thomas and Matchbox 20, but that was not a great concert experience.
That was awful.
Oh, that's amazing.
I want that.
Anyway, if
the tape is pink. Yep. Okay. Need it.
That's awesome. Anyway, Closer to Fine represents Barbie's journey. That she's the less I seek my source for some definitive, the closer I am to Fine.
Yeah.
Kind of. Anyway, and then like with Push, the whole song is about not feeling like good enough, and
Yeah, like represents Ken's still like.
His turmoil, his inner turmoil, which he's still Ken and he's still Beach. So it just came out in a very long acoustic sing-along.
But I did really like, because being a male that has never really liked the, or has never prescribed to the very male culture of just like sports, guns, horses. And I always felt I was just like, that's really boring. Okay. But I do see it a lot of times, like almost performative. It's like, well, this is what I'm supposed to like, so this is what I gotta do. And I found it so hilarious how they all were just like had horses, videos of horses going around, mini fridges. There was just all of these things that I found hilarious. And cars. Oh, the fucking Hummers. Oh my god.
It's the second one.
Dojo Mojo Casa House.
Yeah, Dojo Mojo Casa House.
Brewski Beers. and I can't even remember the long-term girlfriend one.
Oh yeah, the semi-serious long distance.
I thought patriarchy was horses.
Yeah, I thought patriarchy was
such a good line. It's just and then his Ken belt buckle in the Metallica font.
Oh my god, yes.
And the fanny pack. It's one of those things where
It just played. You know what? It poked fun, but I didn't think it was nasty poke.
Yeah,
fun.
exactly. That's where I was like, I don't think
sensitive, please.
Yeah,
It poked fun. It was all in good fun.
Why do we care? I also think there's an element of just like, why do we need to continue to care about this movie? Wasn't for them anyway, so why are we still worried about their hurt feelings? Like if you're hurt, whatever, then maybe you look in the mirror.
Or just maybe it wasn't for you, and that's it. Which
and
I think fine. A lot of
if you don't like
more
it, that's
of the
fine.
Healthy, reasonable people that were like, you know what, this movie wasn't for me. That's cool. I'm out. Like, and that's fine. Don't yuck my yum. And
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, like, you know, but just point out, I like the Fast and the Furious movies, even the stupid ones.
Yeah.
I've seen all of them, but the first two by myself.
Yeah, Colleen usually goes by herself to see them.
I love going to the movies by myself. I totally recommend it. I do it all of the time.
You're not going to get me to go see Ninja Turtles early.
I tried, Ralph, but you're just like,
I can't
go by myself.
We're seeing it Friday with my family. I'm seeing it Friday with my family.
Okay. One more thing we need to talk about before we go. Oh my God. Nobody is beaching anybody off. And then, Jay, before we go, we got to talk about Ellen.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about Alan.
Did you know who was originally supposed to play Alan?
I do, because you told me, but I'll give you the floor to say it.
I do not know.
Jonathan Groff.
I don't know who that is.
Hamilton.
He was the king in Hamilton, but he was also
okay.
The Netflix show about the serial killers.
Mindhunter.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. But he was originally supposed to do it, but because the whole cast had to quarantine or just they had to commit to being in London for the 3 months, he couldn't do it because of scheduling conflicts. And then what's his face? David. He was supposed to.
Dan Levy.
Dan Levy.
He was supposed to be a Ken.
And for probably
10 Dan Levy's in Haunted Mansion? Oh, no.
For like 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Guy from Glee, yes, is in Glee as well.
I think Michael Cera was perfect.
Oh, yeah. He was in Glee. Yeah. Because he was in that.
Were you saying, Ralph, like that it was Michael Cera was perfect as Alan? Because I agree.
He was perfect. I don't think that Jonathan Groff could have been. I don't think Alan would be Alan if it wasn't Michael Cera.
It was explained to me by Stevie that Alan is the one that got Midge pregnant.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They knocked her.
And she didn't have a ring, so there was a lot of people that were.
And Barbie has a hole in her fingers for rings.
Yeah.
Some Barbies do.
Some. Not all. The cheapo ones don't have that. You have to pay extra for the ring. But no, the Alan of it all was hilarious.
Oh my God. What about when he turns into like friggin' Rambo?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Dan got cheated on Haunted Mansion. Such a short cameo. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's literally like 15 seconds. It's weird.
Okay.
It's a weird movie, guys.
I do want to see it, but definitely I'll probably wait till Disney Plus. Yeah.
Right.
Final thoughts on Barbie.
You want me to go? I can do it.
Yeah, we'll have Colleen close. Go ahead, Ralph.
This is probably the best movie about a toy.
Lego Movie was great too, but it'd be hard to argue. I think
also,
it was Pitch
Will
Perfect.
Ferrell playing the real world villain. So it was like
it wasn't really a villain, just an idiot
I think
CEO.
Judy said it was like there's a theory that he's the same person, like it's the same character.
Because he is the businessman.
Yes, Lord
right?
Business.
Like
yeah. But anyways, go ahead.
That would be great. That would be great. But I absolutely loved it. I thought it was terrific. Stevie can't wait. We can't wait either to get it on digital download like iTunes or whatever. But I think I think it's amazing. And I'm glad Colleen's here to talk about it. And I think I'm just going to put this out there.
Okay.
I know you guys are busy.
Uh-huh.
And I know Colleen has an account on Instagram. Geek Mom Life, Geek Dad Wife.
What is your Instagram?
I don't
What's
know,
your Twitter?
I've changed it a whole bunch of times.
You have.
I think it's Geek Dad Wife. I think.
I mean, I don't know. I think a Colleen show could fit on this channel.
No, I'm good.
You don't want to do. You
I
don't
do
want
not.
to do a toy thing. You don't want to do the Polly
Colleen
Pocket.
doesn't. I don't want to speak for you, Colin, but you don't care about your toys that you still have. They're all there as much as I do, I think. Is that a correct statement? Or
Probably
When's the
not.
last new
I
toy
mean,
thing you
they're
wanted?
they're in bins in my parents' basement, not on display behind me. So yes, that statement may be correct. I didn't rush out to spend like $1 zillion on an Allen doll on eBay, which is a thing that you would have already done. So
I would have. That's definitely a me move.
that would definitely be a you move. I guess I should check your eBay account and make sure.
I haven't. I've not gone out and bought an Allen. I promise.
All right.
I think, regardless, I
can I
think
say real quick, just
Polly
on that
should
note,
be on more often.
I agree. Colleen, you've done a great job tonight.
Oh,
I
thank
think.
you so much.
The chat, people in the chat, have you enjoyed Colleen's presence on the show tonight?
It was all in the earrings.
It's all in the earrings.
They're pretty great.
And crap, I lost my thought now. So that's fine. It wasn't that important.
I'm great. You were talking about how I'm great.
You are great. But it was before that I had a thought and then now it's gone. All right, Colleen, you have the floor. What'd you think?
I thought it was great. I think I've said I talk a lot. I'm long-winded. Go back and re-listen to all the things I've said. They stand true to this day. Thought it was very empowering to this day, to this hour.
Have you covered the movie on the broadcast or will
No, Amanda's getting married on Saturday, so she doesn't have time to see movies until after that. So
no excuse.
So we will do that in 2 weeks. But I'm thinking I'm going to be the only one. I'm gonna work on Shandy's husband Frank and see if he can push her to go see Oppenheimer. I have a feeling she's going to hate Oppenheimer.
It's a tough ask.
It's a tough ask, but I'm going to check. I'm going to see. So otherwise, it's going to be me rambling about Oppenheimer. Judy, you're going to have to send in feedback.
No, I will say I really enjoyed seeing. I love seeing as a toy enthusiast and someone that loves a lot of toys. And someone that grew up with Barbies since my sisters had Barbies, and I definitely would play Barbies with my sisters.
As a brother of a sister with Barbies.
Hey, listen, I am born of a mother. That was so good. But anyway, but still, as someone that enjoyed Barbies as like a brother to sisters, but I couldn't, I wasn't of an era where I could have, or at least in my household, that wasn't, acceptable. But I still played with my sisters. But it was really cool to experience it with you, Colleen, as someone that grew up with Barbie, knew all of these characters, knew all the inside jokes. Like you were my guide, my spirit guide through the Barbie side of it, and it was really fun watching it with you.
Oh, thanks. Even though you weren't my direct seat partner, the guy I was sitting next to was very chatty.
The seats were sold out, so we were like on two separate seats, kind of next to each other, but not next to each other.
Yeah, it was like there was like a single
aisle?
seat, then like a space, and then two more seats. And I was kind of hinting at the guy. I was like, to maybe like switch, but Jay was on the end and he was in the dead center, so it was a hard ask. But he then, because I had asked him in the beginning, he then commented on like everything after. It was like an older band version of me, where he was just like, we brought because I hadn't eaten breakfast, so we got
and Jay wasn't
lunch
sharing
at
Twizzlers.
Dinner. No, but he was just like laughing, making comments. Like our food came in. He was like, "Oh, you sprung for the good food, huh?" And like just all this stuff during the movie.
But anyway, let's see a lot of. Hold on, let me plus on some comments here. Allison Troy. I wasn't expecting to hate watch it or witness a train wreck, and walked away having been wholly entertained and touched. It was an amazing experience. That's awesome. Geek Illustrated Ed, she was fantastic. Al, music fan. Oh, she is wonderful. Allison Troy, we all love Colleen, and if anyone doesn't, they can listen to Moby. Judy, Colleen, excellent as always. Black Phoenix loves you as well. Tony Taponi, you were awesome, Colleen. I'm just gonna keep doing this. I gotta build you up.
You're trying to beach me off right now?
I'm not trying. I'll beat you off right now.
It's 11:10, and I still gotta make 2 sets of lunches, and
we gotta do screen memes.
Oh, we do have memes.
I have them ready. All
right, let's go. Because there's still kids awake above me too.
All right, let's go.
They're awake still?
They were supposed to be asleep, but I've heard them talking and stomping around ahead of me. So
That's what happens when mommy and daddy are podcasting together. Okay. Barbenheimer screen memes. Thank you, Colleen, for putting these together. She was also really proud of this thumbnail, so I do want to give Colleen just a moment.
I'm normally unnaturally proud.
She kept showing it to me. I was like, "Yeah, it looks good. It's fine." I was like, "No, but seriously, isn't this really nice?"
Though, do you think the colors are right? And you were like, "I don't care.
It's great. It's awesome. Sounds good." Okay, all right. Come on, Bobby. Let's go party. That's the creepiest smile.
I love that so much.
Let's see.
This is what. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself because this is
no,
not
please. That's fine. How much you go? Okay, the U.S. military. Fuck. What are we gonna do about it? Like the war. Oppie shows up, takes care of it. She's everything. He's just Ken. Kenneth Branagh.
Because he's Kenneth Branagh and he's in Oppenheimer, so it's got layers.
It's layers. This one hit hard.
This one made me laugh so hard on the airplane. I was sitting next to Jack, and I was like, "Look at this! This is so funny." He was watching like Band of Brothers. He's like, "Yeah."
So does Oppenheimer have a post-credit scene? And then the person says, "You're living in it, baby." I was like, "Damn." Well, they weren't wrong. We are living in it. We are living in the post-credit scene to Oppenheimer. This one I love. Barbie movie marketing be like cast of Community, and was it the Glee episode? And then Oppenheimer movie marketing be like the classic dice roll. What was that one called? Remedial
Chaos Theory.
Yeah. Love that. Barbie 2023. We know what art is. It's paintings of horses from 30 Rock. Love that one.
This
Ashley
one.
Ray's on. Go ahead, Colleen.
Oh no, this one makes me laugh real hard.
Olivia Wilde. Oh no, I hit it. Sorry. Olivia Wilde. People should be allowed to have a little fare if they're working on a bomb.
Get it? Because Florence Pugh was also in that movie she had that was bad. Harry Styles. Don't worry, darling.
My darling. Yeah.
Don't worry, darling.
This is great. Wisconsin, Michigan, go for Barbie. Could go for Oppenheimer. Nolan's always done well in the Midwest, but a lot of people there love Little Women. On the East Coast, New York favoring Oppenheimer is home state. No surprise there. Pennsylvania too close to call.
It's great they're both doing so well. And I love the support from both Warner Brothers and Universal, like going along with it, letting the people be like, it wasn't a competition. It was never a competition. It just became this thing where it's like, you got to do both.
Didn't Chris Nolan recently give an interview and he was still kind of a little bit not happy? Yeah. But I think really he's just happy that he won over Tom Cruise.
His movie's done better because of the whole Barbenheimer thing. It's actually out-projected what they thought it would do. So he shouldn't be whatever. I humbly present my Barbie Oppenheimer 2024 electoral map. I don't know who made this, but it's perfect. Oppenheimer Barbie, about a nerd, about a doll, both starring a gifted actor who once played a role of a psychiatric professional in Gotham City, whose therapeutic misconduct with patients at Arkham Asylum ironically led to their own insanity, bringing them into conflict with Batman. That's awesome. I love that. The Oppenheimer marketing team has an opportunity to do the funniest thing possible. The Barbie Dreamhouse is mysteriously appealed, I assume blowing it up. Me walking out of Oppenheimer to watch the Barbie movie. That was literally, I switched hats. We switched looks. We
did. We went to the car. I put a whole bunch of glitter on my face.
You did it. That glitter lasted. That was like a strip club glitter. It didn't go away.
It was like strip club glitter.
This one I love. Steven Spielberg after inventing blockbusters. That's so good. Oppenheimer invented something fun like Beyblade or trampoline. Oh man, and there you have it. Today's screen memes. Thank you, Colleen, for putting that together. Allison Troy, all glitter is strip club glitter.
That's true, but I got like the cheap Wet and Wild one from Walgreens. Seriously, and I even forgot something to apply it with, and I was just doing it with my finger.
I can concur. It was wet and wild.
How have you not hit that button like 5 times during that sentence?
What button? That was. Oh, that's what she said. Here, I got you.
That's what she said.
Wet and Wild, putting it on with her finger, all that stuff.
The Aqua song was featured in the outro credits, I believe. Or was a remix of it or something.
There's a remake of the Aqua song with is it like Cardi B or somebody?
It's somebody.
Because I've heard it on the radio on the Sirius XM.
Yeah.
Hold on. I was listening to the soundtrack
way to
last
find
night.
out.
Oh, that's right. You got liner notes. Physical media.
Oh, it's Nicki Minaj and oops, sorry. I mean, I don't know who it is.
Hit the like button, everybody.
It's like see-through. It's hard to read.
Okay. So that's going to wrap up Barbenheimer. Colleen, you were great. Loved having you here. We'll definitely have to do it again sometime. This Saturday, Ralph and I will be back to talk about another movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. So Saturday night at 9:30, we will be joined by none other than Ryan Dole, who is over the moon about this movie. He really wants to talk about it. So he'll be joining us this Saturday on GDL2. So hit the subscribing bell so you don't miss it if you haven't done that yet. We're really close to 1,000 subscribers. We're
do it for me. Do it for Smash the Patriarchy. Smash the button.
Also follow my stuff because I am not at close to 1,000. I need it. So Jay.
Yes.
For the TMNT thumbnail artwork, I dare you to put that leaked image that you showed on your show.
No.
Why would I want to do that?
No.
Because it'll be fun. It's out.
Can I tell them about how I found a draft in the WordPress of the thing that got everybody in trouble that you had told me not to post back in like May?
No, because I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we're not talking about it.
We don't talk about Bruno. Smash everything. There you go.
Smash it with a hammer.
There you go. So we'll be back here to talk about TMNT. I'm pumped for that. Colleen, the boys, and I are going to see after school on Wednesday, just a couple days from now. Really pumped.
5 p.m. Can't wait to get me them flatbread again. Hopefully my seat partner will comment on it.
Well, this time it'll be our kids, so that'll be fun. All right. Toy Connections. Colleen, is fair game to invite on live streams now? Okay, duly noted. I guess Jake come too. Oh, be careful, Colleen. Now you're going to be getting invited to a bunch of different.
Only if school lunch is already made.
She's been on live action Star Wars. I mean,
she has.
I have been on live action Star Wars, and I did Allison's podcast too.
There you go.
Yeah, what took so long, Jay?
What are you talking about?
Okay, so was it Ken? Ken was saying that he thinks that I did this on the After Dark where I talked about the $1,000 thing you got when Zach was a baby.
Oh, maybe. Oh, that's right. You did come on for a second, but this is like the first non-paywalled appearance of Colleen on a GDL thing.
Oh, Lordy.
Not even on the main channel.
That's okay.
Well, she's not really a toy collector.
I'm good. I said maybe I'll talk about Nancy Drew when that thing is done. Maybe.
But
at
anyway,
the very least, I'll post pictures of my Nancy Drew collection outside.
Colleen, you have a podcast, The Broadcast. You can just search it on iTunes.
Shandy and Colleen. That's how you have to find it.
Yeah, a lot of people. You were the first broadcast. In all fairness,
we were not the first. There was some church one that was before us, but I figured it was fairly obvious which one we were not.
Yeah.
But we used to be straight up the Broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen, and at some point over the last 8 years, iTunes changed something, and we had to just go down to just the Broadcast or something. So there's like a million of them. We're the one, the pink lady with the wine glass.
There you go.
The end. Right. It's us.
Geek Dad Wife, indeed. I think that's what we went with. Geek Dad Wife, because that's the fun
I think
one.
So.
Geek Dad Wife. And then Ralph, you have live action Star Wars on YouTube. You're working on the Getting Lost doc, and I know in your kind of media around it, 8/15 is coming up. That's something's going to happen on 8/15.
I can tell you guys. You guys wanted the scoop? It's not. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed, but if you guys want to know what's going on, like,
sure.
I know for one thing, we're going to be starting an Indiegogo because we're going to the director's been paying out of his pocket, so it'd be nice
more
to
cash.
And I think, no promises, but I'm pretty sure we'll have a trailer for you guys then.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Is Jay going to be in the trailer?
Am I going to be in the trailer?
Is Colleen going to be in the trailer? I don't know who's going to be in the trailer.
But I will say, I'm pretty sure the director said, like, that's getting in the trailer. That's going to be in the trailer. Something I said.
I feel like that's a thing that people that are running movies say to the talent all the time.
You're saying he's just blowing smoke? Because he's just like...
And as the producer, I can say that's not the case with this.
Oh! You're in the trailer!
But here's the thing, like, we need...
Yes! You made it, baby! Woo!
As soon as 8/15/23 comes around, we need to be on every podcast possible. So if you and Jack want to come out of retirement to do a Lost podcast,
this whole thing, he put you in the trailer so you would come out of retirement. This is like classic Hollywood right here.
We need to be everywhere. So that's why I'm bringing it up now, because do
it. Did you reach out to Mike Bloom and Wiggler?
I should. I can.
You should reach out to them.
I need everybody.
In the trailer, cut from the movie. That's probably what's going to happen. Let's just be honest.
You'll be in the movie. You'll be in the movie for sure.
Well, on that note, a nearly 2-hour stream, Colleen. Everybody loves you, so that means you have to come back, whether you want to or not.
Well, find something for me to talk about.
There you go.
You like Ninja Turtles?
You like Ninja Turtles?
I'm gonna listen.
Ninja Turtles.
At some point, I'm going to mention Spider-Verse to Dole.
Well, that's why I love having Dole here, because he worked on Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse, all the Spider-Verse films.
The Spider-Verse film has been pushed back because it was supposed to come out your birthday weekend, but now Ghostbusters.
Well, yeah, I'm sure he won't be able to talk about any of that because I think he's working on both. But I really will love his perspective on this animated film. Anywho,
effects animator. I love effects animation.
Ralph. YHS will talk Lost anytime.
Woo!
Yeah. Listen. We need to be on every single podcast ever. If it's not both of us, at least me. We're making a movie. It's just us. It's me and Taylor and now Emily. And it's like we have to get this out there. So
does Emily want her badge back? Because I can mail it to you. We can talk later. Bye.
Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Until next time, hasta luego. And goodbye.
Good night, everybody.